Hi there and welcome back to another video. My name is Monica of Millie and Monica, and I'm a full-time reseller on both Poshmark and eBay. So today's video is a little bit different. I'm going to be sharing some tips that I have for my online business right now during this time. It is currently March 20th of 2020. So if you're watching this video sometime in the future, some of these tips might very well be applicable to your business, but some of these tips might have changed as well. So if you are at all interested in reseller related content, selling clothing online, and of course making money online, please consider subscribing to this channel and of course give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps me out here on YouTube. So I do want to share these tips with you because I know a lot of you might be a little concerned and not quite sure how to move forward with your online business right now. So first, my first tip, and I don't want to sound too self-helpery here, but my first tip is to stay positive and to have gratitude. So I do have my little notes off to the side because I don't want to miss anything and I want to be as thorough as I can be in sharing my tips and what I'm doing. Know that this is what I am doing and I'm just sharing them with you. So you might have a little bit different outlook, but hopefully they can help you in some way. So of course, stay positive, have gratitude, and look for that silver lining. So again, don't want to err too much on the self-helpery, but I think this is really important. So I'm going to share this quote by Voltaire, which is, he says, the longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. And I think that is so powerful and so true. Now, I know we're in a time of incredible uncertainty and it's very scary, but I personally believe that we will recover and become much stronger and better humans. So we will be better business owners, we're going to be better creators, we're going to be better innovators, and that's what I'm looking forward to at the end of this all. We are just going to be so much better friends and family members, and that is what is helping me move day to day. And I've already seen, the effects of some of this. I've had conversations with friends and family over the phone and connected with some of these people in ways that I haven't connected with in a very long time. And if I get anything from this, it's the real connections that I'm building with these people. So I think that's incredible. And then every single day, I'm just really, counting my blessings and having gratitude that I've never really felt before. And so I know there's a lot of things that are kind of crumbling around us, but more than ever, I've had gratitude for not only just sales in my business, but what I'm, building again with those friends and family. And I'm so grateful for my health and for my local and online communities, for technology. I don't think I've ever been so grateful for what technology is doing to help us right now. And I think that's my first tip, is to just really stay positive and have gratitude. And I think that, it's not only bringing friends and family closer, it's bringing me closer to my spouse. And I think we have just a much deeper understanding of what we do on the daily that, we didn't really have that before. And so we've been together now for the past 7 days, 5 of which have been work days. And to really see what the other does day to day has been kind of mind-boggling, I think, for both of us. So let's now move into my tips as far as, what can you do for your online business if you are a Poshmark seller? That is my main platform. And so I'm going to talk about, my tips really specifically for Poshmark, but then also, branching out into some of those other platforms. And maybe you're completely new to Poshmark, maybe you're completely new to reselling online. I think these tips will be beneficial to you as well. So my second tip here is to keep working on your business. I know that in this time, some of us maybe are thinking you just need to shut down, you need to stop, you need to focus on your family. If that is the case for you, you know what's best. But for me personally, this is not the time to give up on reselling. And I think that's probably the case for many. We will get through this. As I kind of mentioned earlier, we'll get through this. And I think that we're going to be very better business owners, small business owners, in the end. Even if sales are slow during this time, we're going to get through this, and I personally need to just keep doing my job. So even if I can't source or, list new items, there are still things that I can do, and I'm going to touch on that as I move on. And I truly do believe that this is a time to innovate and be creative. So, our businesses will be stronger based on the steps and actions we take now in the time that we have. So, number 2 was to keep working on your business. So let's move on. Number 3 for me is to keep listing new items that I already have on hand. So if you've been kind of watching my journey, I did a lot of sourcing last week before things started to shut down, before, my community was telling us to stay inside. A lot of people were out last week. They were still working last week. This is the week where people are starting to stay home. They're getting the option to work from home. Businesses are closing down, unfortunately, and that's the reality of where we are. But last week I was able to source quite a bit. And so now is the time for me to work through what I have on hand. And, maybe you're not in a similar position, but maybe you're in a position where you have a huge death pile that you've been kind of hoarding up. Well, this is the time where that death pile or money pile comes in handy for you. So work through that. You have the time now, you have the ability, you have a reason to work through it. And I know I personally have a fix-it pile. I have a fix-it pile of stuff that needs to be hemmed or mended, or maybe, replace a button, or maybe it needs to be stain treated. All this stuff I've been putting off to the side. I have a pile of that stuff, and that stuff very well could, keep me listing for a solid week, maybe even 2. And then next, go through your personal closet. I haven't been through my personal closet in a while. I know that I have plenty there that I could pull to list and try to sell. I might be able to go through my husband's closet. He's pretty good at not holding on to stuff that he doesn't really wear. So I don't know how much I would find there, but if you have children or a spouse at home in a closet that you could go through that way. And then next, what kind of household items do you have on hand that you're not using? People at this time might be shopping online for games, DVDs. They might be shopping for kitchen type stuff. Maybe they're trying to do more baking at home. Maybe you have some decor. Maybe you're trying to people might be redecorating their homes at this time. This might be a great time for you to list some of that home decor that is not really fitting with your style anymore. And then, so that's kind of my third tip, to just keep listing the items that you have on hand, new items to circulate into maybe your Poshmark closet, or wherever you're listing your items. It might be Mercari or eBay or Etsy. So my 4th tip is to ship within a timely manner. Now, I know that this can be a little bit tricky with what is happening, but something that I started doing that I haven't been doing is scheduling USPS pickups. And I've been scheduling them online through USPS.com. There is an app. You can schedule on the app as well. I personally have had issues scheduling on the app, and so I've just gone to my desktop to schedule it online. And although I've had some issues with pickups in the past, I am just really trusting that my USPS workers right now understand the severity of what is happening, and they're going about doing their jobs in the best way they can. So I'm just placing my trust in them right now, and that's the best I can do. Now, I know not everyone has the option of scheduling these pickups, so if you can't, you can, if you have smaller items, put them in the Tyvek mailers and you can drop them in a blue bin. A lot of post offices, you don't even have to walk completely into the post office. You might just be able to put them in a little blue drop box and not have to interact with people. And because a lot of our, shipping we're doing online, we're creating the labels. You should not have to go up to an actual worker and have communication with them one-on-one, but maybe you decide you're only going to make a trip into the post office a couple times a week. But try to ship as regularly as you can, and that's what I am doing personally, so that items are still being received in a timely manner, so that I can get my money as soon as possible. And with that being said, I am redeeming my balance on Poshmark pretty much daily. If there's any money in that's available, I'm redeeming it. I don't want to cause concern, but I think it's really important right now to redeem your balance in a timely manner as well, because if you're not, it's hard to say what type of issues could occur in the future, and it's always best to be redeeming that balance when you can be. Okay, so moving on to my next tip, which is number 5, is, we talked a little bit about sourcing from your home, but what if you're out of inventory and you don't have anything new to list? Well, you have some options, but I do want you to move into these next options with caution. So look for new sourcing opportunities, and maybe your first opportunity to source is locally. And I've seen a lot of things going around Instagram where people are asking, local friends and people in the community to clean out their closets and potentially, sell those items to you, or maybe they just want to give them to you. And that's fantastic because they could literally clean out their closet, put everything in a trash bag, and leave it on their doorstep, and you can pick it up. You could Venmo them money, you could give them money through PayPal, and not have to interact with them. And that is really, really an amazing thing that we can do for each other in the community. I have a viewer here that reached out to me on Instagram and said they might have some inventory for me if I need it, and I was completely blown away. And again, that's where that gratitude piece comes out. And I don't want to cry here, but honestly, that is the type of kindness that we should be looking for. And, again, I'm just incredibly grateful for not only the community that I have here online, but the local community. And I think you can find that in your area as well. Maybe you have friends or family that are, like I said, cleaning out their closets and they want to give you these items to sell. Goodwill is closed temporarily, so they can't just take them to Goodwill. You can take those items off their hands, and that's a great option. Now, the next option would, of course, be to source online. Now, there's definitely some downfalls to sourcing online on sites like ThredUp or The RealReal or any of those sites where you could shop online. The downfall is, of course, the wait time, and who knows really when you're going to receive those items. I have ordered from ThredUp a denim mystery box. I've never ordered one, so I was just really kind of curious, but also not knowing when I'll truly be able to source again. I did order one, and I will, of course, unbox it here on YouTube, but I also know I'm not going to receive that box for a few weeks. Now, another downfall to sourcing online is it's going to probably cost you a little bit more, and a lot of people are sourcing online. So with a lot of people sourcing online, you'll want to be careful and make sure, of course, if you are able to choose the items, make sure to look up comps. Is it going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth the wait? Is it going to be worth the money? Is there already a ton of those items for sale online? Really do your research before you are just sourcing a lot of arbitrage pieces online. That would be my tip there. So, look for new sourcing opportunities in this really strange time, because this could be the future of your sourcing. I mean, really, this is the time to innovate. And maybe you find clients and people that have inventory for you on the regular based on this type of situation. So again, looking for that silver lining. Next would be, of course, if you're still looking for new inventory, maybe you're not looking necessarily for new inventory, relist the inventory you already have. Really go through and be honest with yourself. How long have those items been listed? Can you rephotograph them? Do you need to add measurements? Are your listing description and title weak? Can you make it better? I know at a certain point that will be a step that I take, because I relist regularly, but I haven't gone through and rephotographed really old stuff in a long time. And I know that's definitely something I can do and will do at some point. Okay, so moving on to tip number 7 is honestly accept more offers. If you want the sales, accept more offers and be open to that. You might be, have lower margins, and that might be what's best for your business right now. And I certainly know that's what's best for mine. I generally, as a rule, accept most offers. I'm not saying to accept every $5 offer. I certainly am not accepting all the lowball offers. In that case, I am countering, but I'm countering with a lower offer than I normally would. And you know your margins, I know my margins, I know what's going to work for me and what I can accept and what I really can't, and just moving forward in that fashion. I am still sending offers. Again, I'm sending a little bit lower offers than I might normally, and that's just what I'm willing to do during this time, and you can decide for yourself if that is something you can do. Next, and I've talked about this before, but cross-listing your items. So cross-listing to new platforms. Be open to the idea of maybe, signing up for a new platform and trying to learn a new platform to get your eyes, or to get your items seen by as many eyes as possible. Because if you're just on one platform, just on Poshmark, you're just relying on that platform to get your items seen. I personally started cross-listing on eBay several months ago, and I could not be more grateful than I am right now that I started doing this several months ago, but it's never too late. Your business will thank you later. And I'm definitely seeing that now. Even in the beginning of cross-listing, it was tough, but my business is thanking me now, and it will continue to thank me in the future as I continue to cross-list. So if you're not sure how to do that, I would highly suggest looking into sites like Vendu. That's what I currently use. I do have a discount code down below, or List Perfectly. Watch some YouTube videos on how to use those different sites to see which one would work best for you. I do plan on doing a Vendu tutorial within the next couple of weeks here, hopefully sooner than later, because many of you are probably wondering how to use it. But that's what I use, and it helps me cross-post quickly, so I'm not wasting a lot of time, and I think time is of the essence right now, and as is always, but I'm trying to use my time very strategically right now. And this is just a great opportunity to learn new platforms. If you've been wanting to learn a new platform, you now have the time to kind of do that. So you might not see instant success, and I think that's just important to note. Especially during this type of time. But again, you will see the time spent pay off in the future, and I think that's important to keep in mind. Next, number 9, my tip would be to organize. And for you, this might mean something different, but it might be organizing your space, but it might also be organizing your books or your accounting, your finances. So take the time to really dive in, and maybe you've been really wanting to reorganize your inventory. This is a great time to do it, especially, if you're finding that you have less to list. Spend the time organizing. I do have a video on how my current space is organized. I will definitely link it down below. And if you're curious about any of the stuff that I use to organize, basically everything's linked in my Amazon store link down below. So you can order some of the stuff on Amazon, not have to go to a store, and still get your space organized. So I don't really feel like, there's an excuse not to get organized. But again, back to the accounting piece, like if your books are a mess, if you really don't have a great system for tracking your inventory or just keeping track of finances, receipts, and all of that, now's the time to do it. I would highly recommend using QuickBooks Self-Employed. I'll also link that down below as somewhere to start. And then maybe use this time to research and find a CPA. Now, it is March 20th. Tax season ends April 15th. So accountants are still busy right now, but they might be willing to kind of talk to you, and you might be getting a little bit, of their free time to set something up for, over the phone, a time to kind of schedule a time to just talk to them and get some advice and see if they're going to be a good fit for you. Use this time to find yourself a CPA. I'm not going to give you tax advice other than to get a CPA and use QuickBooks Self-Employed, which is what I use, along with some other spreadsheets, of course, but just come up with a system that works for you, and a CPA can help you do that. So use this time to organize. Number 10 on my tips list would be professional development. Now, oftentimes we might think of professional development as something that you only get from a company, but you can do professional development for yourself. And for you, professional development might look like listening to podcasts or audiobooks, watching YouTube videos, and taking courses. And I know personally for me, this is important. I listen to a range of podcasts and audiobooks. I watch YouTube videos if there's something I don't know about. And I haven't taken a course in a long time, but this might be a really good time for me to look into some courses because I know places are offering free courses during this time because people have the time. For instance, recently I've definitely been watching YouTube videos on, any type of question I have around listing on eBay. If there's things I don't understand or want to know more about, I just search it on YouTube, and usually I can find someone or watch a few different videos on the topic of which I want to know more. So that's a great thing. Maybe you're wanting to brush up on your photography skills. You could definitely take a course on photography, or again, watch some YouTube videos. This is a great time for some professional development for you to do. 11 is to tackle some of those projects you've been putting off. So I've already talked about the organization piece, but maybe you've been wanting to rebrand your business, and this would be a great time to tackle that. So if you're not great at the branding piece and being creative and designing logos, this would be a great time to hop on Upwork or any of those types of sites and hire someone. They're probably looking for work, and they might be willing to do the work a little bit cheaper than they have been in the past. So if you've been looking to rebrand and get new graphics for your brand, that might be something you tackle. And maybe, it's creating a YouTube channel or creating content for Instagram. Maybe it's actually hopping on Instagram and connecting with people. This would be a great time to do that. Maybe you want to start a podcast. Do it. Maybe you want to start a blog or write a book. Do it. Go for it. You might have more time to do that now than ever before. 12 is, and my last tip is to do brand and style research. Although things are always changing in the world of fashion, this might be a really great time for you to, get familiar with more styles and brands that are trending right now. And, if you're interested in selling vintage, I get this question a lot, how do you know it's vintage? It takes a lot of research and it takes a lot of time. So this would be a great time to do research on what vintage is, how to identify it, to look up vintage trends that are doing well right now. This is a great time to just do that research. So I hope you enjoyed hearing about all these tips that I have for, your business during this time, and I hope it was helpful in some way. There are things that I'm trying to do for my own business, and staying positive, working through this time, I think is the best thing that I can personally do. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I hope I covered as much as I could. And truly, if you're still watching this, I would love to know something positive that has come from this time. Even if you have to think about it for a little bit, that's okay. Leave me a comment down below with something positive that has come out of this, maybe the silver lining. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, you can shout this video out on Instagram, wherever you are social, because that really helps me out here on YouTube. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.